Okay. Are we playing right now? Hey everybody, we're just getting settled in here. Before we get going, we want to find our feed so that I can look at comments while we're doing this. Oh, VHF Live. Here we go. Couple notes. Let me turn the volume down on this so it doesn't distract. Is there anybody there yet, Cody? Are we able to tell that? Okay. And then, oh yeah. Good. Hey everybody. We are getting to it here. Merry Christmas, you savages. The hat probably darks out my face a lot, huh? All right, we'll live. I just pulled it back a little bit. All right, sports fans, welcome to the show. It's our virtual holiday show. This is our fourth year doing this, maybe? It's either third or fourth. More than four? Could be 5 or 6. Greg Medford from Medford Knife, Main Street Knives, and the American Service Knife. Here to say hello. We have a few announcements before we get going, and then we're going to dive into it. Yeehaw. Saddle up, motherfuckers. It's going to be a ride. Or as some of you Harry Potter homos say, it's going to be a bumpy ride. Okay, yeah, happy holidays, greetings and salutations. Listen, it's so weird. The last 3.5 weeks, I've just been in such a good mood since the election. For those of you who don't know, Lindsay, would you grab one of those coins off right in front of my keyboard? And then we're just going to do a little admin here while everybody is kind of jumping into the room here live. Let's see what this Merry Christmas, you filthy animals. I'm going to show that. I'm going to FJB, LJB show. Go ahead and unlock that door and just be careful you don't hit the camera when you open it if you got to step in and out. So, yeah, okay? That way. Good. Let's see. Yo, Merry freaking Christmas, motherfuckers. I love it. Everyone's... they're trying to edit that away. I'm like, just hit show. I don't know what's wrong with Merry Christmas. Anyway, we've got a lot of stuff going on today, and we're going to go at a blistering pace. I'll explain to you this in just a moment. And then at the end of today's show, I have a huge LGBTQ announcement for everyone. And I'm going to cover that at the very, very end. But you guys should stand by for that. And I know I got a couple of gays and lesbians and at least 2 trannies who like, watching my show and commenting and texting me. This will be for you. It'll be like that, but like, this bud's for you. Okay. Let me give you an idea how this works. First of all, if you do like my new shirt, my new Medford Knife shirt, I really dig this thing. If you like it, you can get it at medfordknife.com. I know somebody's going to comment on that. And then for every knife that sells today during the show, and we're going to leave the show live for the weekend, through the weekend, and we're going to do that so people can go back and review. And, the thing about knives, there's so many little subtle nuances to all the different permutations. You're going to see that it may not be like, you may have to look at the online picture and then maybe you'll see some clarity here in the video, and you want to go back and forth and compare. Maybe the online picture, you don't like the color there, but live, you like the way it looks. Just, you'll have a little bit of time to make a decision if you need to. We've got our Trump 47 victory coin. I don't know. I'm just going to hold it up and show you to here. It's a titanium coin. It is really sexy. It's got Trump on the face side, with Musk and Vance to his flanks. It's got Kennedy and Tulsi Gabbard above him on his flanks with their last names around the circle. And then it's got an American flag with him pumping his fist with the whole fight on the other side. And then hidden around that our 7 fun little codes for you guys to decode. I'll be curious to hear about you. Let's see what else we get here. America, fuck yeah. For some reason they want to, I'm going to show that. I don't know why they're not. And we're going to take little breaks from time to time. Welcome to the live. Remember to guard your privacy and abide by community guidelines. Okay, thank you. A shitload of badassness. I'm going to be showing that. I don't know why they're hiding so much, but I'll be stopping from time to time. My FJB, LGB, my bitches. Okay, all right, nice. I almost sound like Jeff. I wonder if Jeff is watching. I don't know. You should text him and tell him we're cranking and doing the show. You don't have your phone on you, do you? Fortunately, we got that door open. All right, you guys. This is giving everybody a little bit of time to have their monitors up and be looking at everything. You can rehearse this as much as you want when you go live. What's that? What? Oh, he is. Hi, Jeff. Miss you, pal. Okay. Let's get to it. Oh, I'll give you one more preview so you can, you know, I was at Thanksgiving last night, and there were a couple of Labradors there, and as the turkey was coming out and the ham was coming out, I looked over, and one of the Labradors just had drool just drooling out of their jowls. And I want drool drooling out of your jowls from this, so I'm going to show this to you real quick. So this knife is not available right this second. It will be when it comes up. I'm actually going to put it here on the nightstand. You know what? I'm not going to put it on the nightstand. Fuck that. So there's the knife. It's sexy as can be. It's our USMC fighter flipper. Excuse me. It's all blacked out. One side has been machined down, and in its on the presentation side is a slab of oak from the forest at Belleau Woods in France, where the Battle of Belleau Wood took place. Super excited about that. On the side of the blade, Belleau Wood, June 1 through 26, 1918. It's got the Latin lawn of the battle on the back of the blade. Shot a video about this earlier in the week so that you guys could kind of get a little history behind it. I made just a few of these knives. So we sold, I think, we sold one of these, I think. I think we sold one of these knives. I gave one to the CEO at K-Bar, who's a friend of mine, as a thank you. And then I had this one for myself, and I've decided to sell it because I have a lot of knives. It's okay. Now, for those of you who haven't been to the factory here, you'll know I have a little bit of a museum going here. Like this whole room is a museum. This is a certificate given to a soldier after the Battle of Belleau Wood in 1918. It was signed, and it's got beautiful color on it. It's a print, and it looks like it's the original frame from the last century. And this was something that a soldier got for fighting at the Belleau Wood. Pretty cool. Every knife listed for sale was out of stock at $3.59. What the fuck? What does that mean? Do they all list as out of stock till we make them live? Yeah, so those knives all list out of stock until we make them live. When you buy this knife, you guys, you're going to get the Belleau Wood certificate from 1918 off my wall in my office in that original frame. My guess is that hung in somebody's house. They either had it hung up. Some old man had that up his whole life, remembering the scariest 3 weeks of his life, or he was deceased and his family hung it up because it's about the prettiest military decoration I've ever seen. It was issued from Paris, actually, to the Marines who fought in that battle, 4th, 5th, and 6th Marines. Okay. Enough about that. We'll talk a little bit more about the Marine Corps knife when we get to it. What knife is that number? Is that number 62? 63. It's 6 before my favorite number. All right, sports fans, the way this will work is as I talk about the knife, you guys should have your, either be watching this on your phones or watching this, streaming it on your TV, and have your phone up or your PC Or you can, if you're doing this all on your phone, you can watch the phone. You know how on YouTube, you can maximize the video, swipe up on it, and the video goes in a little tiny window up top so you can kind of hear about it. Then go to medfordknife.com, click on the virtual holiday show there. You'll be able to look at the knives in real time while I'm talking to you. First knife, sexy little Praetorian Genesis with the stained glass. Bit of sculpting on it, Vulcan finish, flamed out hardware. Part of our eliminated line of knives. We've canceled production on these knives. It's the last bit of the last run that we had coming through. When did we cancel those? Was that about 4 months ago? June? Yeah, it was more. Takes a while, as you guys know, to get stuff through the system. I'll show you the back side of this knife. It's got a blue clip on it. That's knife number 1 on our list today. We'll start speeding up as we get going here. As I get my chops. I got to lube up my brain. Boom. Okay. Knife number 2. Marauder H. 3/16 blade, 3/16 scales. With the machined reliefs, it's an S45VN tumble blade finished Tonto. It's got a blasted and tumbled handle, blackout hardware, sexy as can be. Headed your way. As I finish talking about each one of these knives, they're going to pop up live on the website, and then you can buy them. Hey, Furball. Hey, Sandy. Next knife up today, 187 drop point with a ridiculously sexy combo finish on it. It's not only been sculpted, but it looks like it's either blackout anodized or PVD. I think it's blackout anodized. Then it's been buffed out and anodized again to get some color popping through the black. Really sexy on a D2 blade. And it's got bronzed out tie hardware. Sexy, sexy knife. 187 DP. Check that out. Don't forget, everybody who buys a knife during the sale today and throughout the weekend gets the 47 coin. Where's that coin at, Lindsay? I'm going to lean the coin like on the back of the thing as it goes around so people can see it. That's perfect. Perfect. I can see one side at a time. Oh, so wait a minute. Where's the one with the tape on it? Get that out of here. I'll flip the coin around from time to time so you can check it out. Need more light on the knives. I'm hearing we need more light on the knives. How about let's see what this does. Hold on. Turn the camera up on it. I'll let you know when it's on it. Guys, we're trying to adjust a little bit for the light. Up. Man, I don't like that. Let's put it back where it was, please. Sorry, guys. You can go to the website for great photos. That's right. We're just doing a little adjustment here because we're just responding to the comments because we're not jadrules. It looks a little low in frame now. I'm going to move it up, okay? Just want to get it just right for everybody. And then, Lindsay, does that, why don't we, hey, can we get that light turned on and get it behind me? Yeah. Guys, give us a little moment here. I think it's a fair point. We're gonna get some light thrown down on this. See if you can get a little bit better view of this. Cody, can you adjust the camera just a little bit? Sorry, guys. Brief mechanical. All right. And then, yeah, turn the light right down onto this thing. Oh. No, it's not too much at all. Bring it in closer. Pull that thing down and bring it in closer. Hold on just a sec, guys. Sorry for the delay. The coin is redacted, yes, because it's got a cool little secret message on it for you guys. Let's see if we like this. Now everybody's out of the way. And
Lower it?
yeah. Here. Yep. Stuff it. Get it down lower. All right. Cody, is that a ton more light on there now? I'm gonna accelerate things. How's this? Is that a lot more light? Is it looking weird? Tom Bruno. Guys, I'm gonna wait. I know there's a little tiny delay. Let me know if that lighting is okay. We just made like a major lighting shift. All right, someone says that's dialed. Okay. And then of course we got this damn thing now. Let me see if I can. Probably don't need that light just shoved in my face. Just don't want it to be in the way of the camera. Is that? Sorry, everybody. There we go. It's an unscripted show. Okay, we're moving on. Next, one of the very last Praetorian tees. This has got guys, I'm not going to run through and tell you all the different types of sculpting we don't offer anymore. We did stop offering sculpting. This is a fully sculpted, blasted, bronzed out handle. It's got a Vulcan finish blade, bronze hardware, sexy as can be. Cody, do we have the camera down on the knife? There we go. All right, I'm going to leave this on everyone for we're almost squared away, folks, for the rest of the show. We'll have this worked out, don't worry. All right, I want you guys to see this one more time. Next is a Gigantes full stained glass sculpting and finish on it. Blackout 3V blade. Blue hardware. Sexy as can be. I'll put the coin right there. Hope you guys dig it. Okay, and then it's so big it barely fits in the screen. That's what she said. Next, we have a crown of thorn. This has got the dropout finish done to it. It's got a distressed and really cool sheath. Such a cool. Oh man, this thing's pretty cool. All right, go ahead and take that off, Lindsay. So you guys can see this. I want you to check out the sheath on it. It's a multi-layer G10 Kydex sheath, or Kydex sheath, not G10. I was just thinking it doesn't have any G10 on it. And then I said G10. And it's been scuffed up and distressed. The crown of thorn is definitely a blackout type configuration. Throw the coin on the back. We'll let it rip. We'll start speeding up as we get our shit together here, sports fans. Next, TFF1 Fat Daddy, spin off of my original design. 290 blade, 190 handles. I'm sorry, 260 blade, 190 handles. And it's got a Trumpinator, Trump Punisher skull on it. I think you guys will like that. You'll see this as it comes around. Super cool. Got a little cool customizing on it. And a kind of knife you pull out, and you'll be the only guy with that knife on the block. Trust me. Next. Too Big to Fail. It's one of my original giant knives. S35 VN blade. Go ahead and pop that out of there, Lindsay. This knife's going to be too big for this. I don't think there's any way I can. I don't think it'll. I know it's not going to stand on here. Oh boy, we're going to let that turn around a couple times. You guys can get a look at that. So the TBF, Too Big to Fail, Breakdown Fighter was this spin-off kind of concept knife that I had years ago. And it sold shockingly more than I expected. And it's actually a pretty hard knife to make. So when it comes around, you guys will see the blade. Probably point right towards the camera. If you don't see the blade as it comes around, I'm going to pull it off and show it to you. But I think you're getting a good look at it there. Perfect. Guys, it's a big knife, and the pictures are there if you go on the website. What number is that one, Lindsay? Number 8. That's number 8. I know it's a little slow, a little clunky. Just bear with us, you're sports fans, but super cool knife. And it's got, there's a lot of thinking to make a knife like this that you can take apart and put together. I don't know. For those of you, get the camera on me. I can maybe show everybody. For those of you who aren't diehard aficionados, you can see this thing. Reading some comments. Hey, it says out of stock while I'm talking about it, and then as soon as I'm done talking about it, it goes live. So now this one's going live right now. Go live. Watch. Be all freaked out, you guys. We're selling you knives. God damn, that thing is huge. Okay, another black ano handles that have had a, what do we call this, predator finish?
Yes, predator.
Predator finished. It's been buffed off, highlighted on a Vulcan blade, drop point S45 VN. That's number 9. Check that out. Really cool knife, you guys. Next on our list is a, oh, this is a cool combo. Interesting. Next on our list is another Gigantes. This Gigantes has been, it's a Vulcan finish that's been faced. And then it has a hand-burnished, polished titanium handle. Now, if somebody buys that, if somebody loves that and they have a different idea for the handle that doesn't involve sculpting, it's just some color, I'm open to popping that knife and adjusting it a little if you want. I look at that. I know some people love that. It's a little too shiny smooth for me, but I love the two-tone blade, so we left it nude. If you get that knife and you're like, hey, I would really like, you know, can you guys make the handles black? I'll send the knives out and make them black for you. Or if you want them blasted, yeah, it's pretty cool. All right, take that away, Linz. All right, next. Oh my God, where did this come from? Good Lord, we have an Attic Find Artica. This has a really cool fallout finish on it. I hope you guys like it. There's a lot of distressing on this knife. It's got a Vulcan blade, and you'll see there's the nuclear waste symbol here. There's big gouges in this and big chunks ground out of it. It is not on accident. I'm going to flip this around as it comes this way so you can see it a little bit better. And then it's been printed. That shelter is actually printed on there. It's a really cool knife. Now, I named it after a Russian icebreaker. I made this knife for some guys up in the Northern Territories of Canada. They wanted a knife that had a really strong tip. They could do some chipping and breaking of ice that's frozen up and bonded to their equipment, working on big, heavy equipment up in the Northern Territories of Canada. So it's kind of an Arctic Circle icebreaker. They wanted something that could chip ice, which is why it's got a big flat chisel on the breaker. Take it away, Calgon. What are we calling this? What's that finish? I know what the knife is. Lindsay just clarified that this is a Praetorian tie. CPM 3V Vulcan finish that's been faced. What do we call this finish again? It's got an acid etch finish, which is, for those of you don't, it looks kind of like a electro. It looks like thousands of little strikes of lightning across the titanium. It's got a blue non-presentation side, flame clip, and as finished hardware. Nice. Next up, this is a Midi Marauder. It has a fully contoured set of scales on it, or handles, I should say. Even though they look thinner, they're not. Those are full 3/16 thickness handle slabs, 3/16 blade. What's the type on that blade there as it comes around? S45 VN blade in Vulcan finish. More details on the website. What number is that knife? Midi Marauder is number 16. Midi Marauder. The difference between that and the Slim Midi is all 1/8" proportions. Exact same planform profile, but 1/8" thickness material. Next up is a Raider. This Raider's been done in a Fallout finish. Guys, this knife is so fucking cool. I love this knife. It was cool before, and it looks like it's been through the apocalypse now. And not the movie Apocalypse Now. And now it looks like it's been through the apocalypse. OD scales, tumbled finish with some big gouges, nuclear waste, shelter, arrow point on the, let me see if I can stand this one up. We're going to let that one take a lap. The sheath. Yeah. The sheath is, give you a look while it's going around the backside. OD with our MKT tie badging on it. I know in this light, sometimes it's hard to tell the colors. That's why I'm saying it out loud. People are like, why is he telling everybody it's green? I'm like, it could be green. As this blade comes around, it's got double saw teeth on the back of the blade so that it clears, debris better as you're cutting. It's got a false edge wedge top on it. Big drop point blade with a combo grind. Everything about the knife is just awesome. Every time I get this knife in my hand, I want to stab the crap out of something. I want to beat something down and then run it through, Okay, moving on. This next knife is very purple. It's just very purple. It's LGBTQ. I'm kidding. It's Joker purple. This thing's really cool. Not only is it really cool, but it's contoured. So the entire face of that handle's got a radius to it. It's been anodized, a purple with gold hardware, and a Vulcan Finish D2 blade, as is normal on our 187 model, 187 DP. This would be great for Pimp in Detroit. This would be great for somebody who's got a little kind of Joker knockoff kind of criminal mastermind thing going on. Maybe if you wear a zoot suit on the weekends, you might want this knife. What about the is it the Oakland? What football team's purple and gold? I was going to say the Saints. Yeah, there you go. All right, so I'm giving you some options of what to do with that purple knife. Of course, if you're part of the San Francisco Alliance or the Provincetown Penises or the what's that group down there in Key West? Yes, the Key West Swizzle Sticks. If you're part of either of those three teams, you can play on our team also. We make a knife just the right color for you. All right, take it away, Calgon. Next, Story Genesis in blackout with a fucking badass Donald Trump. Bit of engraving on it. I'm standing that up. I stand stuff up. You know, everybody looks at me like I'm crazy, but you can see the Trump a little bit better. Loving that knife. We made a couple with that engraving, and it got a lot of attention out in California. You know, California is only like 53% batshit crazy. The rest of them are a bunch of ranchers and gun-toting. You know, they're Americans. But half that state's a bunch of goddamn lunatics. As it comes around, you should get a good look at Trump now. Ben, you're not that late. Let me answer a couple questions while we're going here, see if there's anything worth. Let's get some knives. Is this? Yeah, Donkey Show starting at 3:15. Shitload of badasses. Oh yeah, I missed the yesteryear with the pole dancers. Oh my God, Sherman Webbers. Those were not pole dancers. Those were prostitutes. We hired a couple prostitutes. So funny. The knives are not all sold out. Hello, 6755. Bring on the dancers. Everybody wants the dancers. Fucking Christmas motherfuckers. That's pretty funny. What election? Who won? I want my tampon Tim knife. DEI knife. Yeah, we're doing DEI at the end. What up, Langston? Let's see, man. Yeah, I'm not running for. Yeah. Hey, Furball. Hey, Sandy. Okay, that's enough. Just saying a little hi to everybody. Now we're going to jump in here and get back to it. Okay, next thing is an Antic. The Antic is a forward flipper. For those of you who don't know, it works off the position of the thumb. There's no extra little mechanical anything to open it other than just the geometry of the tang. This knife was started its life. It's got a lot going on. So we've got bronze finished brushed face titanium over a blackout side that was blacked out before being faced. Got an unfinished back strap just in tumble polish to match the blade. So there's a lot of contrast going on. You can see detailed pictures of this. Obviously, you can see those on the website. That's why we've got them up there. Next, Lindsay. Micro Praetorian. Bronze flamed handles. Vulcan finish drop point blade. What number is this next knife that's coming up? How many are there all total? There are 87 knives. We just are finishing, we're just wrapping, jumping into number 19 right now, and we'll pick up the pace. This is a very rare and soon-to-be extinct creature, a drop point CPM 3V drop point blade, golden flamed handles with a Damascus presentation side titanium handle. There's also some sculpting on the back of the blade here. You'll see here. You guys can see all of this detailed on the pictures. That's knife number 19. on the list, medfordknife.com/VHS. I'm going to let that go up there for just a minute. Silly question. They're gone. If it says not available, right? I'm a Fed and kind of slow. Sherman, the only way our software will show them when we haven't made them live yet is that they're out of stock. As soon as I talk about them, they go into stock. And then the minute it sells, it goes out of stock again. So all of the knives heretofore that I've talked about, 1 through number 19, should all show either in stock or if they're out of stock, they sold. Ridiculously rare knife. There will not be many more of those ever made again. I mean, there'll be none of those ever made again. Praetorian Genesis, just for clarity, it's got a Vulcan finish blade. What are we calling this? Hammered looking finish? It's got hammered sculpting, and the whole thing's been blacked out. That's number 20. Black anno with flamed out steel on it. Pretty sick knife with great textures and colors. You don't have to include the coin sippin'. The sippin' is automatically included for every knife sold today. Guys, a really, really cool knife. This is one of my knives. Give me the camera up here. This is one of my knives now you're getting ready to see that I get judged on this. Cody, a little quicker on the camera, all right? I'm gonna give you a little snap when I want you to switch the camera, okay? Hey, this is one of those, I kind of get my balls busted. People are like, all you make are pry bars that can pry open trunks. And I'm like, that was true like 10 years ago. And then like 10 years ago, I started making really thin knives. The Slim Midi is one of the most slender knives in the knife business. It's got wonderful proportions. It carries really nicely. It is elegant. It is beautiful. It is lightweight. It is slicey. It is dicey. It's really masculine and is still slight enough you could carry it in a pair of dress pants. This is a Tonto version in, looks like Boomerang Nichols Damascus. It's marked with an N next to our logo. The chassis has been it's got a multi-treatment on it. It's been faced and flamed and sexy. Get a look at that. I wonder if I could change the settings on my channel so that when people swear, it doesn't block them. We have a particularly sweary lot. A really nice Damascus Slim Midi. I hope you guys snag that rare little guy right there. Take it away. Next, you guys, one of my original karambits. This knife, for those of you who don't know, it originated in Indonesia, and you'll see it around on the Pacific Islands as a fixed blade. I made a folder version of this knife with a hawkbill blade. It's got a great ring that you can wear a glove. It's been predator sculpted. It's really, really a sexy little knife. And I hope you guys enjoy it. Check it out. Now, speaking of knives that are, and you know what we're going to do? We're going to stop at 30. All right, so when we get, yeah, all right, we'll stop at 28. That's a perfect place to stop. We'll take a little intermission at 28. We're going to talk a little bit about stuff, and then we'll be back with knives. We'll have a brief intermission, so you can go. Brief intermission, so you can get up and tinkle. Maybe if it's noon wherever you're at, you could get a quick nooner and then rejoin us. Okay, so this is another knife that was going to be like one of these knives I get harassed about. There we go.
There's a 10-second delay.
Oh, that's right. There's a delay. That's why I'm like, what's going on? So this knife is the M48. So I originally designed this knife for General Patton's family. And then they had a discussion internally. And what they were trying to do is one of the grandsons, I believe, was trying to get some awareness up about George S. Patton. And they have Patton Tank Museum. If you're ever driving out to L.A. along the way from Phoenix, it's on the right-hand side. It's on the north side, right on the edge of the Desert Warfare Training Center. It's like the biggest training center in the world. In any case, I talked to them. I designed this knife. I basically, I went and watched the movie Patton. I watched some documentaries about Patton. I read a book about Patton, and then I sat down and I had like a seance, took out the Ouija board, and I basically channeled him and drew this knife. There's a lot of really cool little subtle features about this knife. I was thinking about sitting there talking to Patton and him saying, I want a soldier's knife that every soldier could carry and to be out of the way. But I don't want it to stick out of their uniform and look clunky. I want it to look smooth. I want it to be elegant. I don't want it to break the lines of their uniform. I have a lot of attention to a military looking smart and squared away. So that's what we've done. 1/8-inch scales. It's got my carport lock set up. Over travel lock limiter, blackout, wraparound, symmetrical clip, or ambidextrous clip, I should say. And it flicks like a machine gun. It's got my, what do we call this diamond? Diamond grind? What do we call this tip? Do you remember? What? Yeah, that's right, Magnus tip. So if you run your fingers along the blade and you get out to the tip, it's full thickness out to the sharpened edge, which gives an elegant drop point, great slicing little blade, a really strong tip for prying, the way a lot of soldiers do. This is the M48. It has a track from the M48 tank that Patton designed, and it has M48 on it. Also has his dog, Willie, on the clip. It's engraved on the clip. So the whole thing's an homage to Patton. Now, the project died because, an older female relative said, Dad didn't carry a knife. No knives. Now, if you go to the Tank Museum, there's a ton of knives there. So, look up George Patton. His little piece of American history. Sexy knife, the M48. Next up is the Nosferatu, and this comes basically from my love of cinema and dark German cinema. An early part of the 20th century, there was a movie called Nosferatu about Dracula, and this knife is it. So, is this a Damascus blade? Oh, Jesus. So, some features about this. It has a coffin-shaped handle. It has an asymmetrical dagger with a faux edge on it, so it's not actually a dagger. But I can tell you it wouldn't take more than about 2 pounds to push this through someone's skull. It is pointy. And I got the idea of the pointy shape of the blade from the Fang of Nosferatu, just FYI. Button lock auto. Raw tie functional hardware. The rest of the knife blacked out. Blacked out on top of a Damascus blade. Really, really sexy, you guys. And it has that coffin shape, which is kind of cool. It's a sinister knife. Next up, what number is this? Next up, number 25. Praetorian T, one of the very last. I'm so sad to see the end of this knife coming through. S45 VN in a Vulcan flamed finish. Blued out hardware, blackout handles. Sexy, sexy, sexy. Number 26. It's got a wood bark buffed finish, S45 VN drop point blade. It is a Marauder H. Blackout hardware in contrast. The blade is in a tumbled, polished state. This is really a good-looking knife, you guys. Kind of manly and organic. Great texture in the hand. Super cool. What's next? Next is a Praetorian Slim. Next is a Praetorian Slim. A couple things about the Praetorian Slim. This has got blackout scales and hardware. It's got Trump's face on it vertically, which is pretty cool. It says MKT on the clip. It's a thumb open knife. It's slender, it's small, it's light, it's sharp. And I believe this is Boomerang Damascus made by Chad Nichols in polish. Really cool knife. I hope you guys like this. It's got a Damascus blade. It is gentlemanly. It's got a little trump on it. It's pretty fun. This knife's got a funny feature. I apparently stole this from my cousin, and he was butthurt about it. Figure it's fun to point out to everybody. You can leave the camera down there, Cody. I'm going to point it out from right here. When this knife is closed, I noticed when I was breaking windows and developing breakers on knives that whenever I put my fist through a window holding the breaker on the back of a knife, with the breaker on the back of the knife, I had to have gloves on or I cut the shit out of my arm. And I can't remember what the context was, but either he showed me or we talked about it or he made a prototype that had it, and I thought it would be great to throw on here. So on the back of this knife, you'll see this little nub right here, and that's the breaker. And the way you'd use this, you'd knock through a window like that. Works really nicely. Praetorian Slim in Chad Nichols Damascus. All right, next up's a weird project. And I worked on these this past week with the show in mind. How can you find out if number 7 is full size? Because it isn't labeled TFF1. Oh, well, all you have to do is ask. That's a full-size Fat Daddy. We don't make any not full-size Fat Daddies. Okay. The next is this weird project. Why don't we take this guy out of the way? Yeah. So I was asked by a friend to make a couple of knives for a John Woo film that came out called The Killers. And they ended up needing it too fast, and I wasn't ready to devote a bunch of time to solving their challenges for filming. If you watch the movie, there's a female assassin, and I think she's Asian, and the female assassin has some stuff she takes out of her purse that turns into a knife. These I developed for that scene, and then I ended up not using them. So I wrapped them and turned them into a little bit more traditional pokers this week. So this is a left and right set. What's that? 18-inch overall length. They are straight Tontos. I'm going to rotate them. They're hollow ground and flat ground. So the main bevel is hollow. The Tonto grind is flat. They have a big fuller groove down the full length of them. I did the handles in red and black and red. Kind of burgundy and black and burgundy and red. I did both handles in burgundy and black, but I did them opposite. Each one of them, you'll notice, has a manta ray skin I cut out of a manta ray that was stained. And the presentation sides of these short swords have this very center of the manta ray in the back. Those of you who like this kind of thing know what I'm talking about. I wrapped these myself and did them this week in the factory while my son was hanging out with me. This is number 28. It's a pair. Whatever price they put on them is not worth the amount of effort that went into them, trust me. And then I made a leather sheath for it. Do you maybe want to go grab the partially done leather sheath that's on that table where I was working? It's sitting there drying. So I made a leather sheath. I'll make another leather sheath for the second one. Unless somebody says I don't need the sheaths, which I'd be happy to have them not have the sheaths. But I made sheaths for them. I was showing my son how to do leather work on Wednesday, I'm sorry. We're getting ready to jump into our first quick intermission. So if you need a tinkle, go to the little boys' room. I've got some of you lesbians on here that are buying knives. You can go to the little girls' room. Whole lot of knifing going on. We're waiting for Lindsay to get back. A couple things I want to talk about with you guys. Main Street Knives. Oh, let's see here. Cool. Okay, so this is the sheath I made for him. It's a leather top grain cowhide sheath. It's really just meant for them. We were thinking of actually putting a dragon on the side of this. That's what Amy suggested, which I think is a great idea. I may end up doing that. I don't know. I'm going to dye the sheath black, and it'll have some sheen to it. All knives come with a coin, yes. Yeah, so this is a hand-stitched sheath that I made. Teaching my son how to do this leather work, and I'm going to make another one to match it for the other blade. Unless somebody does me a solid and says, Greg, I don't want the sheath. I just want to hang them up. And I'll be like, thank God and praise the Lord. Okay, let's get rid of number 28. Those could come off the table now. You got pictures of those for everyone to look at, I imagine, online. Guys, I'm going to wet my whistle. Now, we don't have prostitutes this time or strippers, but we do have a midget. We have a midget on the way, and they'll be part of my LGBTQ presentation that I'm doing. All right, so we're over a third of the way through the show. Thanks for coming and joining us. Don't forget to check out Main Street Knives. Now, right now, Main Street Knives are kind of tagged on to medfordknife.com. By the end of next week, you will see them up on their own organic website. And that's medfordknives.com, right? I mean, that's mainstreetknives.com. Yeah, mainstreetknives.com. And then you'll start to see this company kind of take shape. It's basically a value line of knives that takes a lot of the lessons that I've learned and our team has learned making the American Service Knife and Medford Knife and Tool. Trying to find interesting niche in the marketplace to dance a little bit. And I think we found something cool. All of the knives are in that kind of $200 price point. $225, $175, $195, $205. They're all kind of in that range. I hope you guys enjoy them. Hard to do. All right. Couple other announcements. SHOT Show. January 21 through 24, we'll be there. Be there or be square. Booth number 43757. 43757. We'll be in the Venetian building, the Venetian Convention Center, and we'll be on level 1 downstairs. Also, Texas Blade Show, February 7, 8 of 2025. Texas Blade Show. Both of these are in January. SHOT Show's in January. This one's in February. February 7, 8 at the Fort Worth Convention Center. We'll be there. Lindsay, I think you're going to that one with me, right? I think Lindsay will be there. If you guys come out to SHOT Show, is Ed coming to that one? I think Lindsay's husband will be there. So you guys can come up and say hi. We may also be doing the California Custom Knife Show in Orange County, February 1st and 2nd. We have to find out where that's exactly going to be and make sure that's all going to work. They don't have that announced quite yet. So just a little bit of a pre-announcement. All right, next, another Midi Marauder, fully contoured. What's up with this purple and gold theme? What's that?
It's the last one that's like that.
I know some people like purple. It's just not remember one of my favorite. It always seems like a color I couldn't decide what I wanted to be. It's like I want to be blue, I want to be red. I want to be blue, I want to be red. S45VN Vulcan Tonto Midi Marauder. Fantastic knife. For those of you who want a big manly knife, but you don't want it gigantic, that'll fit the bill. Next up on our Santa's lists of culinary delight, 187 DP in Chad Nichols Raindrop Damascus. It's got melted handles done in bronze with blackout hardware and contrast. Really sexy knife, and every knife, of course, comes with our fucking retarded cool Trump 47 coin. Proving the pundits wrong that you can't produce 100% USA made knife at that price. Kevin Bain. All right, guys. Next, Praetorian Genesis in Raindrop Damascus by Chad Nichols. I've been buying my Damascus from Chad for a long time. I like his patterns. I like his work. And his Damascus has always been very predictable and solid for me to work with, which is a big deal for a maker. Anytime you see one of my knives with the logo, with a little N next to it, it means it was Nichols Damascus. This has got a Predator sculpt blackout handle. Okay. I'm going to let that one take a lap around because it's a really sexy knife. What number is that one on the lineup? Number 31. Number 32. Number 32 is an infraction. S45 VN blade, blacked out. Really cool markings on this knife. It's got 1945 Normandy invasion stripes. Star and bar rondelle without the red stripe that happened after 45. It's got rivets, rows of rivets on both sides of the knife. It has a really, really, really cool military, tactical kind of aviation feel to it. Super sexy. Hope you guys like that. Wrapping up, the very end, you're not going to be able to get new Praetorians from anybody pretty soon. Next is a Praetorian S45 VN blade. Predator scales. They've been blasted, buffed, flame treated, anodized. Vulcan blade. Super sexy. All right, guys. Next up. Next up's a really fun knife. Got a Seawolf short. It's got a little faux sub hilt, which actually feels really nice in the hand. Kydex sheath with our MKT titanium badge on it. Really cool knife. Let me maybe set this some way you can, I don't know. Hate to be jerking around with it like that. I know somebody on there was saying they wanted to see it, Seawolf, and I'm like, we've got one. Boom, here we go. All right. Next up today, Praetorian Genesis S45 VN Vulcan finish blade. It's been sculpted and faced. You can see it looks like falling rice. Polished breaker. A lot of cool contrast and finish variety on this knife. Doesn't look overdone. Doesn't look like a bunch of Mexican Christmas lights on the front of a house. It's pretty cool. Yeah, you could take it. Next up, USMC Fighter Flipper with the Trump Punisher logo on it. Sexy knife. You know that the form of it, a lot of people have tried to do spin-offs of the fighting knife that was made for the Marine Corps by numerous companies, now most notably by the K-Bar company. That form factor has never been captured well in a folding knife, in my opinion, until we did it. I think it's really cool. I think they always look like some sort of anemic, goofy adaptation. And this thing here just feels legitimately like smashing and stabbing. All right, next up is a infraction. Basically, gold tumbled chassis, gold hardware, and a great, you know what we could do? Put the coin right here. Jesus. And it's got a great Vulcan finish on the blade. Super sexy knife. What number is this?
Marauder is
Number 38. Marauder H. Coming up next. It's got tumbled sides that have been faced or brushed. It's got flamed hardware, blackout blade, and it's an S45 VN. Of course, all those details, you guys, you can pull right off the website. I'm going to let you take a quick look at that as it comes around the mountain. As soon as you guys see it, Lindsay's going to snag it and pull it off. Go ahead and grab that one. Now we've got a blackout USMC fighter. Titanium hardware, contrast hardware. Just, I love that contrast of plain hardware or bright work on black. It looks great. Kind of reminds me of like a 1970 Chevelle with chrome bumpers, and the Chevelle came in black. I mean, it's fucking cool looking. Great looking knife. Holy smokes. How many Praetorian ties are there left in the universe here? Are we about out of them? Are there more Praetorian ties in the factory?
The last run is fulfilling, so there will be some going out to dealers here soon. So they are still circulating, but they're on their way out.
Okay. And so when we canceled this knife, guys, we had, a decent amount of orders for them. I believe the last bunch is going out now to dealers. And what that means, when we're making, let's say we make 115 for dealers, we'll usually make a 10% overage. This may be the only Fallout Praetorian tie that's ever been and ever shall be. On the back side, you'll see the shelter printed underneath the clip creatively. Very cool. I like what the guys did on that. And you'll see deep gouges and distress marks on this. Really cool knife. It's got the nuclear waste symbol on the presentation side with just some really classy gouges and stuff that's been done to it. A lot of steps done by hand to make this thing look this way. Very cool. All right, you guys. Next, this is for everybody who says all they make are pry bars for opening up trunks. All the knives do come with a certificate of authenticity, yes. Somebody asked COA. Where can I order this sexy knives? David at medfordknife.com/VHS. You will see the list of the lineup. Guys, this is our T-bone. It's our T-bone in Tanto. It is opened up. There's a lot of coolness to this, not the least of which are the really sexy acetate insert on the handle, blackout hardware, notched backstrap. That is a classy knife that you might have in your pocket if you rolled into Mastro's or into a Morton's or maybe into Peter Luger's up in New York. Pop out your own knife. Cool steak knife. The T-bone. That was one of Jeff's ideas. Jeff's like, hey, why don't we make a steak knife? I'm like, okay. Let's just make it a cool one that in case you got to fucking kill somebody at the restaurant. You got it. You're good to go. Next, you guys, the Gigantes. Everything about that knife's cool, and I take a look at the way it was sculpted around the thumb groove. Just a lovely knife. What number is this?
That one is 43 in your hand.
Okay, 43. We're almost at the halfway point. I'm going to let that come around the mountain. Go ahead and take it. 187 drop point. It's got bead blasted, sculpted handles, Vulcan blade, flame contrast hardware on one side, black hardware on the other. It's got black hardware over flame contrasted clip. You guys can see that in the pictures. Just a great knife. I'm going to flip the Trump coin around so you can see the madness on the other side, minus the hidden message. Those are really cool. We're making those at a feverish pace right now. Next is a Gentleman Jack, a JG2, an S45 VN. This knife has gotten cool. This knife did not start cool. This knife has gotten fucking cool. So basically what we've got now is it's got this acid etch. I would call this electric fire if it was up to me. This finish on the handles. It looks like electric arcing out. It's gone all the way up the side of the handle. It's got great walk and talk. Authoritatively opens and closes, halfway stop point. It's got our waterfall fuller groove nail nick on it. And it's got a clip for all you guys who've got to have a clip. So much work goes into the clips, you have no idea. Such a cool knife. The badging on it is even done really cool. It's got an angled, I finger fucked this one to pieces. It's got a great angled etched logo deep into the side. And it says JG2 space 4 on the back, which means it's a Gentleman Jack number 2 in S45 VN. Just a cool knife. Get a gander at this as it comes around. If you don't like all these big tactical knives, but you want something with a modern flair, this is very much like getting a 1959 Corvette and putting it on, which is a shit ride. I mean, I know they're valuable, I know they're cool, I know they're original, blah, 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 whatever. But you wouldn't want to take a 1959 Corvette across country. I mean, they rattle and they're bumpy and it's just not great cars. Our modern standards are so different. When you put that on, if you were to put that old Corvette on a new Corvette chassis, now that's a fucking car. That's kind of what this is. It's all this modern thinking and modern sentiments put into an old form factor with modern materials and modern performance. It's super cool. All right, next, our Viceroy. So it's interesting, the butterfly knife crowd has come a long way in the last 10 years, and they're really finicky now. And we had a fellow working for us that is really into the butterfly knife world, and came up with a decent little design that we're pretty happy with, and we traded him for some production time to make his own stuff. And he came up with this initial design. We've made a few changes to it for production, and we've added some blades to it that weren't part of the original package. Really great knife. It's got great action. It's funny. These little weirdos from the butterfly community, it looks like they're either gay or they haven't gotten laid yet. You know how kids look weird when they're like of age where they should be getting some pussy and they haven't yet? It's like, you know how Gollum got weird when he was in the cave for a long time? His eyes got big and he started morphing. These kids, they've been in the computer too long. They've been staring at the computer, greased up in their mom's basement wearing a diaper. I want to square them. I want to do a before and after. It's called Incel No More. Involuntarily celibate no more. And it would be coaching with Uncle Greg. So I'd get one of these little swizzle sticks and I'd man them up for a week. We'd just do a week of butchering up camp. And then I would take them out and help them pick out some clothes. Not the way I dress. I'm a gangster. And then I would have them get a good haircut. A lot of them really need to floss. And get them squared away. And they could flip their knife around. But I'd be like, listen, flipping around knives is like doing magic tricks trying to pick up chicks. Super gay. Don't do it. Am I right? Guy's like, hey, good looking. Can I show you a card trick? You'd be like, fuck off, you queer. All right. And when I say queer, you guys, I don't mean it in a hate way. I mean it in like a alpha beta kind of way. These little incels come walking up and they're carrying a Viceroy, or they come up and they're like, and they walk over and it's so weird. They're artistic. They're like autistic. They walk up right through everybody, and they walk over, and they don't wave their arms. And they kind of, their arms don't swing as they walk. They're almost like, what was that movie where Tim Allen was like Mystery Galaxy Quest? They're like from Galaxy Quest. They're like, where do you have a butterfly knife over here? And they come over. I'm like, we'd like to see your butterfly knife. And they push their glasses up. Usually their mom's carrying their stuff or their dad's carrying their stuff with them. Fucking hilarious. And all I could see is, man, you haven't got laid yet, because when you get laid, you won't give a fuck about butterfly knives. But man, do they now. So I let them play with the butterfly knife. And they always had this look on their face afterwards. They look at me and they look at the knife. They look at me and they look at the knife and they go, how did you people make this? Because everything we make is so robust and not what they're into. And everything we make is kind of so manly and like tool use for like virile protectors of hearth and home. And it just doesn't connect in their little incel mind. Moving on. Oh, man. What are we calling this? I did this pattern. I've never seen this pattern done on a knife before. I did this pattern for the very, very first time on Praetorian tie number 1, which is sitting on my desk. I did it for Rob Banta, who owned a company called GSS. And I made him this knife and gave it to him. And I kind of came up with this random dimple pattern. It was before I had mills. So we've got a Marauder H, fully dimpled, S45 VN drop point blade. Cool knife. 47. Number 47, Micro Praetorian in S45 VN tumble blade, Tonto, blackout hardware. And I'm gonna, what was I calling this thing? Lightning?
Oh, sculpting is...
No, I was calling the light. I had a cool name. Electric Lightning. Electric Lightning finish. All right. Next up on our list, sports fans, a sculpted Praetorian Slim. All tumbled, brushed, opposing flame, hardware, and clip. Really cool knife. Man, I almost cut the shit out of myself just now. Okay, so this is a Praetorian Slim and drop point, not Tonto. Next is a Marauder, a slim Midi Marauder. And I'm going to call it Fireworks. It's got a Fireworks sculpt and flame job over a black ano handle. Tumble polished flat ground S45 VN blade. That is a really, really elegant, manly knife. Next. You wanted it, you asked for it, you got it. Old school Marauder. That is not a Marauder H. That is a full thickness 260 blade, 3/16. The add to cart button is showing up for me. When did it stop?
Well, the comments just started coming through, and I think the point was that they're going back to try and find knives that have not sold yet, but the last 3 or 4 knives that you've shown, nothing's...
Guys, give us just a second.
Okay.
Appreciate your comments. Glad Amy's here. We're going to have this sorted out just a minute. Fortunately, I have my digital brain trust on staff here with us today. You see what's going on, Code? Give us a minute, guys. And then I really appreciate y'all's feedback. If any of you want to let us know that it started working again when it's popped up. Add to cart button has showed up for... Add to cart button hasn't shown up for me at all. Okay, we're working on it, Kane. iron, sharpened blade. Sipping, it worked for him earlier. Yeah, I think the glitch just happened, so we're sorting it out. You get this many people jumping into a site, sometimes there's some instability issues. Just give us a minute, guys. I'm going to stop talking about the knives because I don't want to get ahead of things and have you unable to buy them when they come up. Actually, I had somebody get pissed at me about that last year. Did you find out what's going on? All right, guys, give me 2 minutes. Good time for you to go bleed the lizard if you need to. Would somebody mind? Oh, wait a minute. Never mind. I have my water right here. Yeah, my voice is toast. Start spreading the news. Did you buy any of those Trump shoes? No. What's going on?
Well, did that one sell?
Do you know what's going on? Cody, if you give me a heads up, I can let everybody know, and then I'll. And
the website for everybody,
yeah.
and then everyone just got to reload their medfordknife.com.
All right, just tell me when to do that, okay? All right, guys, we're clearing the cache, doing a reset. Will you guys ever release the dress marauder? What's that? We have one in the show actually coming up. I want number 29, the mini marauder. That's Midi marauder, M-I-D-I, because it's the mid-size. And you can get number 29. It's sold. Oh, number 29. All right. David, I'm glad for you. I'm so happy for you coming out. It's an LGBTQ friendly show. And for everybody who want a gay purple knife, we respect your right to choose.
Number 31 was the last night that sold. What is number 32 in case Greg needs that?
32 is the infraction with the stars and bars. It's all blacked out with stars and bars.
Oh, and that knife should have sold because people will love that setup that's on that knife.
So I don't know if you want to just do a real quick refresh. What number are you on right now?
We're not going to go back and do 20 knives. I mean, we can't do that. No.
Eventually it'll go live on the website. Yeah.
All right, listen. We're working on the glitch right now, guys. I don't know what's... Cody? Guys, just try refreshing your page until the button shows up. And it should work. Whoever was having the problem, did it start working? Can you guys tell me real quick if number 50 is already sold? Trying to track in real time what you guys are seeing and what we're putting out.
Anything between 32 and 50.
All right, let's move on. You guys can see them. We'll be working on it. If you're having any problems, don't call us yet. We should have this technical glitch worked out. Just refresh and run. If they refresh, it should start working again, Cody?
Yes.
All right. We had some glitch going on. We've reset. Our cache is cleared. We're reset on our end. Just need to refresh and see if it's working. I would love to hear from some of you that were experiencing the glitch to see that it's gone away, okay? No button on number 50. Which one was number 50? Oh, well, I haven't finished yet on 50. So 50 is a full-size marauder. It's got a diamond cross, like two-tone diamond crosshatch lasering done on it and on the clip. That'll be available in mere moments. Cody, why don't you make 50 live? Let's see if the button pops up. Paul's telling me not working. Still not coming up. Add to cart for me. Daniel Nagel. Now it's not showing. I'm about to retire if you need a good IT guy. There's just between what's watching and who's on the site, it may be giving our site a hard time. Mine will not get me button. Yes, 50 still isn't visible. Cody? I'm sorry to have it be on you. How's 50 looking? Have you made it live?
Is in stock.
Okay, 50's in stock.
You don't have a button, then that's what I'm working on, getting that button back up for everybody.
Oh, are you still working on it?
I tried a couple things, so if it's still not working for people, I'll try a couple more. Figure it out.
Guys, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna pause for 5 minutes. Everybody get up, get a scotch, get something to drink. We're gonna do a little technical speed correction here, and then we'll be right back. So I'll see you in 5 minutes. It is now 21 after. I will see you at 26 after. And at 26 after, we'll rip through the last batch of knives. Have a lot of cool stuff coming up, including the Marine Corps knife and a couple other things. Okay? Give me a minute. Give us a couple minutes to get the technical glitch. I don't want to just barrel through the show and everybody have to go around and find it afterwards. Just give me a couple minutes. Do you know what's happening?
But I don't know why it's not fixed. The out of stock button is disappearing. On product pages. But it worked for the first 8:30, 30 something, so 39. Need a word press or product? It's actually a specific product issue rather than the whole set. So I'll investigate this happening number 50.
Okay, guys. It looks like we've got a specific issue on number 50. If you experience it or anything else, let us know. Right now, we're not sure why. It seems like it's working on the numbers after 50. It's not working on 50. So we're going to jump back on. We'll show 50 again. As a matter of fact, we could sell 50. They could just call up Amy and conduct a transaction over the phone, right?
For sure.
All right. For those of you who want number 50, call us at 623-249-4506. And first one to reach Amy will be able to. Okay. Terrachar 8 says it's not just 50, it's a lot of other night right now. I can't buy any eyes right now because you can't add them to your cart like number 42.
What do you want to do?
Phone should be ringing here at some point. I just directed people to call you. So, for any of the knives that you guys want, Cody, what should we do here? Looks like the whole thing's glitching.
There's something at the product level settings. So there's some that are visible with the add to cart button, and there's some that are not, and I can't determine what the difference is between.
Okay, so, all right. So let's do this. We need to probably, we could do this live, just have people call in. Doesn't have an add to cart button out of stock. What's its status? Every knife option. to buy now does nothing. All right, so the whole thing seems to have crashed, Cody. Guys, give us a second, and then we're going to let it rip. I think what we should do is take all the knives that have passed, and we should field phone calls, and we should just process them manually and get it done.
We can totally do that. They can send emails too. I'll check emails as soon as I get down.
Okay, here's what I'm going to do, you guys. I'd like you're going to need to, this is going to get a tiny bit more complicated, but we're going to let you buy the knife you want to buy. Here's the way to do it. We're going to get multiple emails for each knife, and what we're going to do is whoever sends an email first, you will get the knife, and subsequent emails will reach back out to you and apologize that it was sold. It'll be manual. See if you see a knife you like, then call Greg. Yeah, here's where we go. This is super annoying. I'm sorry, everybody, but we're gonna try and make this work. So just take the number knife, and then we want you to send an email to Amy. So you can email Amy at medfordknife.com. She's here right now. Lindsay, as soon as we're done running through the knives, will go help do these transactions. Whoever sends their phone number, their name, and the number of the knife, we need your name, your phone number, and the number of the knife you want. As I cover the knife, send an email to Amy at medfordknife.com. AMY at Medford, MEDFORD, KNIFE.com. If somebody, I'm going to put this in the chat right here. Our system has glitched. If there's a knife you want, email Amy at medfordknife.com. Include your name and phone number and the knife number you want, and we'll call you immediately, period. We may have this fixed right now. We may have this fixed, so let's move on. Okay, is number 50 showing, everybody? Let me just get a note from everybody. Let me know if number 50 is working, and then we're going to wrap up the last batch, and I'm going to go at a fast pace. Sorry for the technical glitch, friends. Just give me a comment and let me know if 50 is going to work. Okay. Sama Lama Ding Dong says it's working.
I got 2 calls in of number 50. Somebody wants number 50. So is it now open to whomever?
Whoever's first, well, it's working now, so it's going to sell digitally.
All right, so tell Frank if he wants number 50 to click on it when you make it go live.
Frank, buy 50 as it goes live. Sorry. Guys, sorry about the glitch on 50. I don't know what happened, but the whole system crashed. It wasn't our fault.
So Sean, and then I also took a call from Sean about number 40. So same thing for him.
Sean, who called about knife number 40, just do the transaction online. I'm really sorry for this, guys. You know, you could do everything right. So if I want to have the blade of my purchase number 17 DLC, what is the process? You can't. We're not reconfiguring the knives. All right, all the knives are available now. Don't call, don't email. Just buy them the normal way. Sorry, you guys. We are reliant on WordPress, WooCommerce, numerous plugins, and sometimes this shit crashes. It's the digital universe. We got it all working. Thank you, Cody. Moving on. Next knife, 51, right? That was a shit show. 51, this is a knife I did for some guys at Range 37 years ago. This is Jungle Fighter. Doesn't require a lot of explanation. Really cool knife. Hope you guys like it. See if I can. Okay, that's number 51, right? All right. Yeah, guys, I'm very sorry about that. I you know, it's a lot of moving parts to make something digitally happen. We're not QVC. We do the best we can, and fortunately, we've got a technical person here who was able to adjust everything really quickly. Basically, had to reset our plugin for that button, make it work site-wide, is my guess. All right, next up, 187 drop point Tonto. Don't see these very often in D2. Fully contoured handles. Beautiful blue ano on that knife. What's this number?
We are on number 53.
Number 53, Viceroy in blackout with blue flame hardware. Super sexy knife. Number 53. Holy shit, you don't see this knife very often. All right, sports fans, Micro Praetorian tie, the end of an era. This is a really cool knife. It's an S45 VN, and it's got Predator sculpting.
Sorry to interrupt you. Tell people to stop emailing about buying number 74 or 72 because we'll get there.
We haven't gotten to the 70s yet, and I'm just going to go through. Amy, I put this note on here. Let me just delete the note. I'm removing the note. You can't get ahead of us, guys. You got to buy them in real time live.
Cool.
Let's let this. This Micro Praetorian tie is 54. It will be live as soon as I pull it off here and go. Is it live already, Cody? Yeah, it's already live. Cody, you should go live with the knife after I'm done talking about it, okay? Don't do it while I'm talking about it, because guys want to know about it before they decide. Hey, here we go, guys. It's got some gold contrast hardware. Really, really pretty knife. That's number 53. Check that out on the site. Number 54. GJ2. Gentleman Jack, number 2. With all the sexy walk and talk you'll expect from a really cool slip joint knife. It's number 55 in S45 yen tumbled blade. It's got sculpting on both sides and been bronzed out. Just everything sexy about that knife. Next knife, please. Keep the pace up with me here. Next up, guys, is a T-bone. This is a titanium handle with G10 insert, blackout contrast hardware, and a lovely, really sexy drop point Tonto. Actually, just a Tonto blade. Next up, what knife is this?
That is the Viper.
I know what knife it is. What number?
Oh, I'm sorry, 57.
Number 57. I have an original attic find Viper in Fallout finish. This was one of my designs I did years and years ago. It's got the shelter on the back side. A really, really cool knife you will not see too many times in your life. We're running through our Fallout knives right now. Next is a full-on marauder. As you guys see the picture of this knife swing around, I'll be jumping into a full... Oh, no. As you see this swing around, I'll be jumping in the marauder as soon as you get a chance to see the face of this. All right, and off it goes. Next is our marauder in Fallout finish. Got a blackout breaker on it. Nuclear waste symbol. Printed shelter sign on the back. Just on awesome. That is not a Marauder H, sports fans. That's a full-on original Marauder. You can take it away, Calgon. Next, D2 blade and drop point. Black PVD handles and titanium armor. I just choked on my lifesaver. Jesus. Oxygen required. I don't remember being this fiddly fucky before. Maybe it's because I have my glasses on. That is a D2 blade, as milled hardware, DLC coated handles, 187 DP. All right, next up, you guys. Do a quick shift. Next up, with an acetate insert, light blue frame, gold hardware to match the gold that's inside this really cool fractal pattern. T-bone in Tonto. Next time you're out at the steakhouse, either with your wife, your girlfriend, or your Gumar, you whip that thing out. You got the coolest knife in the place. All right. What number is this Viceroy?
Viceroy is 61, and after that we have
Number 61, Viceroy. Back up. You guys will see the details as it comes around. You'll now see it in motion. Sexy, sexy blade. Okay, I'm going to let you guys get a look at that. We're going to pause from the little I'm going to throw the rotisserie up. I'm going to get you a look at that, and then we're going to talk for a minute. All right, Viceroy is hitting the sheets. Next up, you guys, the Belleau Wood USMC fighter flipper with wood from the battlefield at Belleau Wood. You can't go take wood from that. We got it from the son, the curator, through a friend of mine. Former Marine Dan from DSK Tactical learned how to make knives over in my end of the universe. We met at a gun show, and he was pushing a stroller with a baby in it. And he said he was a knife maker, and I said, "Let me see your knives." And he was like, "Oh my God, no, I can't show." I said, "Oh, let me show you." And he showed them to me. They were everything you'd expect from an abortion gone wrong. They were awful. I love you, Dan, but those early ones, they were just awful. He was in his garage with like a grinder trying to make, and then I said, "Come up to the shop, man. You can grind at my place." So he came up and started grinding, and he's an accomplished knife maker now. And I'm happy to be a little tiny part of his story. As some sort of brotherhood thank you, he gave me some wood that ended up in his hands, and I cut it into strips, and then I pressure stabilized it with resin, and then made the handles for it. Alan actually made those here in the shop. It's one of the coolest knife projects I've ever done. For those of you who don't know, and if you want, give me camera number one, please. So, for those of you who don't know, the Battle of Belleau Wood kind of like solidified the modern Marine Corps, and it helped get funding for the Marine Corps, which up until then had really been a line item in the U.S. Navy. Marine Corps had always been a pain in the ass to the Army, and the Army had been wanting to get rid of the Marine Corps. Like, why do you have these soldiers? And the Navy said, listen, we need guys on board ships in case we get boarded, in case we're in shipborne combat. Our sailors are, these are mechanical guys operating and driving ships and firing guns, but for hand-to-hand combat, Marines, we need to have Marines. All right. Then the Navy's like, hey, listen, our ships, we can get mines put on them. Our ships pull into port and need to be able to get fuel or exercise our might. We need a ship to shore. The Army can't always be there when we pull into Manila or when we pull into wherever, and we need some self-defense or we need some force projection. So the Marine Corps was kind of always having to make an excuse for itself. After the Battle of Belleau Wood, there was no excuse being made for the Marine Corps. It was recorded. It was the gallantry that was seen on the battlefield there had not really been seen in modern warfare. It was pretty amazing. And it was meant to be a death sentence to these Marines, to be a black mark on the face of the Marine Corps that the Army had done, basically shut down the Marine Corps. As it turns out, a bunch of people died, a bunch of people were heroes, and a bunch of Germans got killed. We got a really cool nickname out of it. That's where they interviewed the Germans and said they fought like devil-possessed dogs. Teufelhunden. Devil dogs. And we got that name and we kept it. Like, if someone calls you a devil dog, you don't like go, oh, we're Marines. You go, okay, that's pretty cool. We like that one. So, this knife, coin, and this certificate that was sent out in 1918 to the soldiers who fought at the battle in the 4th, 5th, and 6th Marines are all included in the sale. It's pricey, I know. I kind of don't care. If you don't buy it, it's okay. If there's some crazy Marines out there who just have to have it, I understand. I will tell you what I'll do. Today, if the knife sells today, Friday, before midnight, I will take $1,000 and I will donate it to the Semper Fi Fund out in San Diego for wounded Marines. Okay? So I know it's pricey. It's a lot of work. It's really rare. It's a really cool collectible. It's got a little piece of my personal collection from my personal museum. And if it sells today before midnight, I will kick $1,000 to the Semper Fi Fund. 100 cents out of every dollar is spent on wounded Marines. And there have been a lot of wounded Marines from the last 20 years of war that have needed help, and their families have needed help. They've got ongoing injuries, and that's what we'll do. If it sells tomorrow, I'm incentivizing selling it today. 1,000 of your purchase will go straight over to them. I will cut the check, mail it out. I'll do it live on air next week. So there. To all you jarheads, Semper Fidelis. Moving on. We had a little interruption. I'm sorry for the technical glitch. Looks like we've got it all working out now, and everybody seems to have it cranking along just nicely. Thank you. But if I noticed you needed a check mark in the card or something. We're able to pick up number 50 cent through site, no problem. Getting a coin, you get a coin, you all get a coin. Yes, everybody gets a coin. Next set of announcements. We have a couple of really cool lines of knives coming out besides our Main Street knife offerings. 4 folders, both in Tonto and drop point. So a total of 8 SKUs of folders, 3 different colors, black, OD, and denim. We've got a really cool new color G10 called denim that we're calling denim. It's bitchin'. I hope you guys like it. We've also got 10 fixed blades, including my take on a World War II knuckle buster, a World War I knuckle buster trench knife. Kind of a modern take on it. It's pretty neat. I think you guys will dig it. We've got our military artwork knives. So we have our knives of the battles of the U.S. military. That will be coming out sometime soon. The samurai knives, we've got a lot of designs. We haven't put them to knife yet. We're trying to figure out how to launch them the best way. When we do these really unique pieces of artwork and we do them on very specific knives, there are a lot of guys who love the artwork, but they don't like that kind of knife. Knives are very particular knife people, and I get that. Knives have got personality, and I kind of like what I like, so I get that. So what we want to do is and this makes this launching of this process a little harder. We want to take the artwork, we're going to put it on a knife, and then we're going to list several models that we can put them on that you should like. Cody, what'd you say?
People were wondering about the Belleau Wood.
Okay. Yeah, the Belleau Wood knife is live. All right, guys. So we've got our military knives, our samurai knives, and for the first time, I'm going to tell you about it right now. We're doing a line of knives called Rusted Muscle. I think you guys are going to dig the shit out of this. There is a cool movement in the automotive, in the show car industry. It's basically these cars that are original condition. So they are, a lot of them have got wear mark on the doors and on the sills and sashes and the wear mark on the hoods, and they're kind of worn, and they're called survivors or survivor restos. We're doing that patina on some knives. I think you guys will find it really cool. We did a Ferrari one. We did a Ford one. We're doing, like classic muscle cars and race cars with this patinaed out look. I think it's super sexy. Hope you guys dig it. You'll see it coming. All right. Next up on the lineup, Gigantes in, jeez. It's so much knife. Every time I get one of them in my hands, I'm like, man, that's a big knife. Vulcan finish, Predator, sculpted, bronzed out handle, bronze hardware. Next knife. What's this Viceroy? What number is it? Number 64, Viceroy. I'm going to call this knife Two-Face. You'll see why. It's got bronze, one handle bronze, one handle blue, and opposing hardware. Fucking cool. I'm calling this Two-Face like Harvey Dent. Two-Face. You'll see as it comes around. Super sexy. We've got a filigree with kind of some almost banknote scroll engraving on it and anodizing. S45 VN polished tumble blade. What number is this?
D is
Number
number 66.
66.
Oh, I'm sorry, 65.
Number 65. Drop point Marauder H. Go ahead. Just going to shift these guys. Drop point Marauder H. It's almost a paisley. It looks really good. All right. Contoured 187 DP blackout D2 blade. Flame hardware. Fully contoured handle. Then the handle has been brushed and tumbled. Très bien. It is very sexy. It is like a beautiful, shapely woman's leg at the cabaret. I hope you enjoy it. I would like everyone to have a penis in the us. Happiness, not sadness, the opposite of sadness. Happiness in the house where they live. Happiness in the house. All right. Listen, the comedy is free. The technical glitches are all free as well. A CPM 3V blade. Fat Daddy. Somebody asked me if it's a full-size Fat Daddy. There is only one size Fat Daddy. It is a 260 thick blade, 190 thick scales, all blacked out. Super sexy. A spin on my very earliest knife design, the TFF1. What number is this one? Got a Marauder H, number 68. It's a blackout knife that's been faced. The hardware has been faced and anodized. It is really sexy. So it's black and almost lavender, and it kind of shifts color based on the oil of your hands. So when it was anodized, it's right on the spectrum. Next. Oh, cool. All right, next, Lindsay, we've got a JG2, great walk and talk, a really, really classy modern folder done in Fallout finish. Super sexy. I know you guys are going to like that knife. For those of you who've got a penchant for an old man's, gentleman's small pocket knife, that is it. It is the coolest small pocket knife you'll ever pull out. Guys will pull out their old timers in their cases and all of those, and they'll be like, man, that thing's fucking neat. Because it tells a little story. Next up, D2 blade in Vulcan finish, stained glass that has been black DLC coated, opposing flamed clip, black hardware, super sexy 187. Next up on the docket, S35 VN drop point Tonto Micro Praetorian. Vulcan finish blade, peaks and valleys, handle, opposing flamed hardware and clip. Super cool. What number is this Micro Praetorian?
Is number 71.
It's number 71, guys. We are coming around the bend to Grandma's house. We're almost done. All right, guys. S45 VN Tonto T-bone. It is bronze, dark finished handle, black G10 insert, flame ano hardware. Really, really sexy T-bone. Yeah, I don't even know what to call this, except it's really cool. Armadillo. Okay, I'm going to go with that. S45 VN with this armadillo sculpting on it. This is a Vulcan finish blade, blackout handle, blackout parts with this armadillo sculpting. It almost looks like shingles when you look at it from one direction, or siding on a house. It's pretty cool. Okay, somebody asked me earlier about the mini marauder. Dress marauder, we call it, not the Midi. Someone said mini. This is a dress marauder, you guys. I made this knife for a brief period of time. Did not make many of them. It is a full-scale tactical fighting titanium badass folder, but it is super small. It's almost on the Nacho Libre side. We should call it the Nacho Libre Marauder. All right, guys, another wood grain with a rainbow ano, gold contrast hardware. D2 drop point Tonto blade 187, best value in the business in my opinion. This is a hand ground knife, full size titanium. One of the best values in the business. Super cool knife. Is this 76?
The Slim Midi is 76.
All right. Number 6, a flat ground S45VN tumble polished blade. Sculpted bronze handle. Praetorian Slim in drop point. That is number 76. So it comes around, get a good look at it. All right, number 77 on our list is Praetorian Genesis S45VN. Vulcan finish, Predator sculpt, bronze handle, black breaker backstrap, contrast flame clip, bronze out hardware. Good looking knife. I'm leaving that Trump coin on there because there's a Trump coin with every knife, sports fans. You don't have to click, select, or do anything. You just get it. Next, another Marauder H in S45 in Tonto. Peaks and valleys, bronze, contrast flame hardware, and clip. Sexy, sexy knife. Coming your way on the Not So Lazy Susan. Number 79, Dimples, Praetorian T. Super grippy, very, very, very sexy knife. It's a little horny. It's not smooth. It's got some horns on it, but really, really nice knife. If you're an accountant from New York, I would not recommend you get this knife. It's grippy. This is a knife that grabs you back. This is for somebody with manly hands, or they just want to show it off. You could use that knife, balls to the walls for a decade, send it in, and I can make it look like new. Send it back to you. That's a Dimples Praetorian T, a dark brooding S45VN Vulcan finish. Praetorian Genesis, faced handles, flame contrast, hardware, Vulcan blade, really nice knife. Praetorian Genesis, number 81. We're getting down to it here, sports fans. You're going to see this one come around and show it some love. That's a good-looking little knife. Lot of pop and contrast between the Vulcan finish blade, two-tone handles, flame hardware, and then bright work on the breaker. It's really nice. So next, we've got a bright tumbled to a polish CPM 3V blade. Drop point, obviously. What is this sculpt called? It's got a lightning sculpt with an electric lightning finish is what I'm calling it on it. A big fat daddy. This is a knife in proportion to the dinner you had yesterday. Should be how your belly felt after you got it on with a turkey. 47 should have been a Trump knife. God damn it, I didn't think of it. We should have had 47 and 45 be a Trump knife. Fucking genius. How did we miss that? You know, we had a lot going on, you guys. Lindsay and Cody had done such a great job. Damn it, I can't believe we missed that. The first one should have been Trump with a perfect ear, and the second one should have been Trump with a nick in his ear. All right, guys. Lindsay's going to take that off now. A Praetorian T, S45VN, black DLC-coated blade, bronze tumbled handle. It's got a Trump Punisher skull with We the People on it. That is a beautiful knife. Great patriotic message. Daniel Nagel, thanks for joining in on the fun. Number 62, I don't know where that goes. All right, you guys, moving on. We're almost down to the end here. S45VN, Praetorian Slim in drop point, non-flipper version, peaks and valleys, bronze, subtle, muted handle. This is a gentlemanly, badass-looking, gentlemanly, cool, sexy, lightweight, slender knife. Oh, fuck. This is so fucking cool. I'm gay for this fucking acetate. It looks so cool. I am gay. Like, I will deep throat this thing all the way down. I will chug a lug on this. It is good looking. Oh my God. I can't wait to show you guys this because you will go full on Fagula for this. S45VN tumble polish flat ground magnet tip T-bone with a bronze faced handle with this beautiful caramel acetate insert. God damn, this knife is good looking. I almost want to keep that knife for myself and take it out. I'm going to go have steak tonight, I think. Tonight's a good night for steak. What a knife. Guys, this is a beautiful knife. That's the fucking... People are like, all you make are crowbars. I'm like, God, man, shove it up your ass. My crowbar, shove it right up your ass. Ah, Jesus. All right, guys. Next. This is hand sculpted. It's a full-size marauder. What are you calling this?
That one's dragon.
They're calling it dragon. I think it looks like fish scales or scales. It is every single one of these dimples is completely done by hand, methodically. That's why it's completely random, original, and one-off. It's in a bronze blasted contrast color. That is a full-size traditional marauder. Oh, wait a minute. That's a Marauder H without the features, the milled features. And it's got a blackout blade. It is CPM 3V blade with a DLC coating on it. DLC coated breaker. Just a sexy knife. I love that someone just brought up Nishimoto. This is our second to last knife of the night, guys, of the season. I want to thank all of you so much for being a part of Medford Knife over the years. It's been an honor, and it continues to be an honor to serve you. Everybody here who works, I think most of us really like our job at this point. We've lost a few people over the couple last year or so, as the economy has been a little weird in the knife business, and people either threaten to leave or get a little cranky, and we just bid them farewell. The team we have now is probably the happiest and most talented team I've ever worked with. Beautiful knife. This is an M48. I've already told you the story. It's in blue and bronze. Sexy, sexy knife. The very last knife of the knife. Very last knife of the knife. The very last knife of the night. Thank you very much. It's a 187 drop point. It's got a stained glass sculpt with electric lightning finish on it. It is a drop point blade, D2 gentle polish. It's a lovely knife. I have a couple announcements plus our LGBTQ surprise. I'm going to do a trick for you guys. This is a couple of you in San Francisco are going to get really worked up about this. Like excited, you know what I mean? Like sploosh, schwing, whatever gays get. I think they get schwing. All right, take it away. Listen, I hope you all had fun. Did somebody get 63? Did somebody get 69? That's what I want to know. Did 69 sell? All right, guys. It's a lot of work putting this together, not the least of which is making the knives. You know, a lot of guys, a lot of knife makers, take half that many knives to the biggest knife show of the year, and it takes them all year to get ready for it. We do all of those shows, plus we do 2 or 3 shows a year like this and make these knives. It is a lot of work making all these knives. I want to thank Lindsay for all of her awesome effort, and she does this on top of her regular duties and assignments here at Medford Knife and Tool and Main Street Knives. She does all of that normal stuff plus this. Glitch. Future knives are available to buy now. Yeah, all the knives are available to buy. Does the confirmation email for the order come later? Yes. Cody is one of the new additions to the team. He came on. Tiny bit of overlap as Jeff was retiring last year in December. I hate the fact that Jeff left and went off to fucking Alabama, but it's beautiful here in Arizona. Cody has kind of slipped in. He's really got the same kind of fun, innocent sense of humor almost that Jeff had. It's amazing. People leave and they leave a big gaping hole in the building. They leave a gaping hole in your heart, a gaping hole in your daily lineup of friends. And that's been tough for me over the years as I've made so many friends doing this. But then the universe kicks me somebody like Cody. And he's been here really, if you guys notice, Our website game is unparalleled. Our website is so much fun to look at. If you haven't looked at it lately, take a little time to bounce around there and give a little shout out. Any compliments you send out on the website will be seen by Cody. He puts a lot of time. You know, we'll have something weird happen at 11 o'clock on a Saturday, and he'll be texting me, and I'll be like, Jesus, Cody, hang out with your woman and your kid. And he's like, yeah, I just want to make sure this is taken care of. And I just say thank you. You don't get that kind of dedication very often. So to have somebody competent, dedicated, and present is really a gift for somebody like me, and it's much appreciated. Of course, many thanks to Amy for being here on the day off. I just handed the kids off to her, so she really wants to get home and hang out with the kids. You guys, I appreciate you all so much. You have no idea. Have a wonderful holiday season. You will see more of me if you choose to, of course. If you don't like what I say, you can just hit the off button. If you do like what I say, keep coming back around. If you hate what I say, I'm not a dummy. You should tell that I'm pretty well read and I'm articulate. And when well-read, articulate people have diametrically opposed viewpoints, it is not time for us to stick our head up our own ass and not hear them. It's time to listen. I do the same thing. When I hear wise, well-read, educated, and intelligent people who make good arguments, when I hear them make a case for something different than me, I make sure I don't dismiss them out of hand. I listen. The echo chamber that everyone's gotten used to out on digital land, out in your feed on Facebook and Instaballs and Shittygram and I don't know, what's the other thing? Truth Social and Dickbach. All these fucking different goddamn social media things. You get your own little bubble. AI is basically trying to jerk off your amygdala. AI is in there trying to find out what gives you a hard on, and they're stroking you because they want you to spend money or they want your information. Don't be that predictable. Get outside the box. Think outside the box. Listen outside the box. Why do we even have a voice if we're all supposed to agree? We're not. We're supposed to argue. That's the job. That's the human condition. And then my job is to line up my ideas, my soldiers, line them up on my battlefield, just called the floor, and you line up your soldiers for your battlefield, that place, that encampment of your idea, that little fighting hole that you've dug yourself into the last 10 years. You've got the perch of your idea. You believe strongly in this: abortion, death penalty, taxes, tariffs, whatever the fuck it is. You're entrenched, and I'm over here on my side. I'm entrenched. And you line up your ideas. They're called your soldiers. I'll line up my soldiers called ideas. And let's let them fight with each other a little bit, and let's see what happens. It's the free marketplace of ideas competing with one another. And the greatest thing that can happen as a human being is somebody comes along and moves your needle. Getting your needle moved matters. So have 2025, the year that Donald Trump got resoundingly elected, with no doubt. Everyone asks, what are we grateful for on Thanksgiving? You know what I'm grateful for? We didn't have a close call. We didn't have a split between the popular and the electoral college. We had a real election, not just because I won. I've been losing elections half of my life. I've never complained. What happened last time was an abomination. And it didn't happen this time, not because we won, but because the data, the pre-data, the post-data, and the election outcome all jived. That matters. I think everybody felt a little weird beforehand, like, geez, what's going to happen? You want to know what I'm thankful for? I'll tell you. I'm thankful we had a clear and decisive election. And if it would have gone to Camel Toe Harris, I would have let that slide. I would have been like, fuck, my country's really clearly that dumb. All right, well, here we go. Let's deal with dumb. Thank God, all we have to deal now with is obnoxious. Correct, but obnoxious. Before, it would have been a polite but dumb. I don't need polite. I don't want my rulers polite. Remember, the guy we send, or the gal we send to the White House, is the negotiator in chief. They're out there cutting deals on the world stage for us all. Right? When a bunch of nut jobs from California say that we shouldn't call it Christmas anymore, our president is supposed to say, shush up now, we're going to light the Christmas tree. When you Muslims show up here to the United States and we celebrate Christmas, Shut your fucking mouths. It's a Judeo-Christian country, and welcome aboard. Don't fuck with our traditions, and we'll let you Ramadan dad all your day long. You can do your Ramadan and your 7 pillars of Islam. No problem. There's just been an assault on who we are. That's what so many of us have been mad about. There's been an assault on who we are. I don't want that. Clearly the country doesn't want it. And I guarantee you a big swath of your skinny jean, top knot, fruit ball, flubby-waisted beta boys, those guys, I bet a bunch of them are relieved. The negotiator-in-chief should be scary to the rest of the world. They shouldn't be nice. They shouldn't be polite. We told the king and queen to fuck off. The very core of who we are is not polite. Polite is phony. I'm sorry, but it is. Very polite people are the ones who always fuck me over. Cranky fuckers almost never fuck me over. It's always really polite people. I don't even like really polite people that much. They kind of scare me because I always expect their other personality to pop out when I'm not looking. And life is tough, and it's hard, and ends in death, and it ends alone. Don't be so fucking polite. People walking around politely eating little bits of shit sandwiches until they shoot up a school. I don't want any more polite. I like people telling it how it is. Slightly hostile around the edge. Keeps everybody keeps you playing poker straight. And I want my president, I want my commander-in-chief, be it man, woman, black, brown, Blasian. I think that's what you call a black, Blindian, if she's Blindian, like Kamala. If we get a Blindian president, I want them to be a badass. You notice the day after Donald Trump got confirmed to be the president-elect, Hamas got real ready to negotiate. You notice Zelensky's talking about concessions to end the hostile part of the war with Russia. All it takes is to know the quarterback's walking on the field and the fucking game changes. Just keep that in mind. 2025. Merry fucking Christmas, you guys. Thanks for joining us. Greg Medford from Medford Knife and Tool, Main Street Knives, and American Service Knife. Amy, Lindsay, Cody, and everybody here on the team you've kept employed for the past year and the last 15. We sure appreciate it. I am out. Go enjoy your day, you bunch of hooligans.